Crow says, Myfitnesspal only sucks for the first few weeks, then you get used to it. That's a good point, Crow. When you're starting any kind of new routine, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel discouraging. It can feel like there's a lot to it, and don't beat yourself up. Cut yourself some slack. Try to be as consistent with it as you can, and just work to get a little bit better after each day. And like Crow says, after a few weeks, it'll become second nature. It starts to become a habit. And once you start seeing the progress, you start to get motivated, and then it really starts to snowball and build off of itself. And then you're unstoppable. You can do anything. Van Draren with the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome to the family. The Pally says, Fitnesspal literally gets easier. Your food is already logged into the app about a week, so you don't need to keep taking pictures of barcodes after a while. That is a good point. So it kind of has smart technology where it remembers the foods and the meals you eat at different times of, whatever meal you're eating. I think normally in Myfitnesspal it starts off with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can change that. I know it's been a while since I changed it because I started using it in like 2012. But if you go to the website, you can customize a lot of it. I just did meal 1 through 6. So I've got 6 different options of meals to put in there for the day. And it remembers each of those meals. So generally I think meal 2 or 3 is my protein powder, depending on, if it's a Saturday or whatever day of the week it is. So makes it very easy to continue to log. So for the first couple of weeks, you got to manually do that. But like Pally says, it does have a barcode scanner in there, so you can scan any kind of food that has a barcode on it, and it will instantly find it. And if it's not in there, you can always create your own foods, put the macros in, the proteins, the carbs, and the fats, and the calories in, and just track it that way. And once you enter it in once, don't have to do it again. And I keep plugging this app, but this is just truly a great app. Not sponsored, by the way. There's a database of food in there too. So if you search up cheeseburger, you're going to get a whole lot of cheeseburgers. You can find the McDonald's cheeseburger in there as well. So good stuff. Zenon says this might be a little weird to discuss among so many gym rats, but there was recently a study by many doctors at Dr. John Hopkins Institute, and they found out working out to failure is worse in the long run, and you should always work at a level below your highest level. That's very interesting. I did not hear about that study. Can you provide a little bit of background into, for example, what you mean by is worse in the long run? Is it worse for health reasons? Is it worse for muscle building? What I will say about working out to failure is failure has its place. It's a training tool. There's a lot of different training techniques, whether you're talking about supersets, whether you're talking about drop sets, train to failure. I think there's a place for each of those, but I'm of the mindset where you should not be training to failure every single exercise, every single workout. I think it has its place, and it's good for like a burnout at the end. That's when I typically like to train to failure. But if I'm doing, especially if you're following a strength training routine, something where you're trying to build up strength, training to failure can be dangerous. It can increase the risk of injury significantly. And when you think about what the most important factor in building muscle mass is in the gym, training volume is actually the most important most important factor. Now, what is training volume? Training volume is the number of sets times by the amount of reps times by the amount of weight you are using. If that is increasing over time, that is generally going to mean you're building muscle mass and you're getting bigger over time. So with that said, training to failure can take away from your overall volume. I'll give you an example. If you go into the gym, first exercise, and you go straight to failure, as many reps as you can, throughout the rest of your workout, your biceps are going to be so sore, you're not going to be able to continue to have a high volume throughout the rest of your workout. It might take away from it. So that's an example. I know that gets a little bit into the weeds and into the specifics of training. That's definitely an interesting thing that you mentioned there, Zenon. Zenon says worse in the long run in the sense that athletes, so this is again about going to failure, who don't work to failure can get more sessions in. They did a study on people who work too hard, got 70 less sessions in a year simply because they did not recover. Again, that's kind of like what I was saying, so I pretty much see where that's going. Also, the overall skin quality got worse at healing wounds. That's interesting. And the other thing they found out is that your strength and muscle gains were found to be better in the higher frequency group despite the exact same amount of work. That's also interesting. I am a proponent of doing each muscle group twice a week. I follow a push-pull legs type of a workout split, so that's what I do. So I'm in that category of pretty frequent workouts, and again, not going to failure. So I not to say that that study is necessarily right. I haven't read the study, but it kind of seems like it makes sense to me just off of hearing what you say about it. Again, I still think failure is good, and it has its place in training for sure. But when I first went to the gym, I used to go all out every single set. I would go to failure all the time, and it wasn't for a couple of years really that I realized that that's probably not the best way to make long-term progress. So, but hey, that's a good problem to have. Someone that's just so intense and someone that's so ready to go to the gym and kill it that you go to failure every set. I mean, there are a lot worse problems to have, like not wanting to go to the gym and not ever getting in the gym. Wrath says, cardio is so boring, I have to keep myself entertained. Blaha's autism rants and drama passes time so quickly. That's what you gotta do, man. You gotta find something to entertain yourself. When I do cardio, I do like to listen to music or watch videos on YouTube as well. I am a fan of doing incline walking for my form of cardio, so it allows me to have my phone with me. Just watch some videos, something like that. Listen to podcasts, read a book, things like that. Zenith says cardio does not have to be boring. Mix it up. Do HIIT, go ahead and box and kick, go for a run, hike, jump from bed to bed. Yeah, do all that stuff that's super intense, for sure. There's a lot of different things you can do for cardio, though. The options are definitely open to you. Try out different types of cardio, see what you like. And just don't do CrossFit. Oh, excuse me. Crow says, I've been doing jump rope right after I wake up and then walking on an incline for 35 minutes after lifting. Do you think it's too much of cardio? It depends. Too much for one person can be not enough for another person. If that's what you've been consistently doing and you've been consistently losing weight, I think that's fine. If you want to slow the rate of weight loss that you're experiencing, because you said you lost 4 pounds in a week, you can cut it back a little bit. You can reduce the amount of cardio you're doing, or you can increase the calories you're eating a little bit. No big deal. The choice is yours. It's up to you. I don't think that's too much, though. Also, I don't know how many days a week you're doing that. If you're doing that 7 days a week, we might be talking about a little bit too much. The Pally says, all of these damn studies that come out, there's going to be a million sources that support any given workout diet idea. Just keep it simple, guys. Get yourself in the gym. Be consistent. Whatever you're doing will probably work. Just keep it up. Absolutely. I really can't agree with you more on that. Yeah, I stick to the basics, like I said, in terms of supplements, in terms of training. Consistency is going to be your best friend. Don't get caught up in the dogma where people say this diet plan is the only diet plan that works. This training routine is the only training routine that works. There's a lot of different things that work for different people, and there are different goals. Everyone's a little bit different in what they're shooting for, what they're trying to accomplish. So there's a lot of variables and a lot of variability in what you can do. With that said, there are some principles that generally work 100% of the time. How many calories you're eating, training intensity, some of the tried and true basic things. If you stick to those basic principles, you're going to make progress, whether you're doing intermittent fasting, keto, you name it. It's going to work. Zenith says the shade at CrossFit. Yeah. I don't hate CrossFit. I just hate CrossFit. I mean, no, but in all reality, if you do CrossFit, there's no hate. There's no hate. It's just got a bad rep. And there's kind of like that conflict between people who do bodybuilding and pretty much any other kind of lifting and CrossFitters. But the thing I don't like about CrossFit is the fact that people are really prone to getting injured when doing CrossFit, and they don't lift with good form typically, and they feel superior to everyone else. If you're not like that, no hate on you. Raz says, speak facts here. I eat like shit and I still lost weight. It's calories in, calories out. If you want to do cardio, you can eat whatever you want within reason. Couldn't have said it better myself, 100%. But calories in, calories out is kind of self-regulating in that when you get to low calories, you still have to hit your protein goal because you need to get your protein in. So it kind of self-regulates in reducing the amount of carbs you're going to be eating. So you really can't go crazy on the ice cream and things like that when you're cutting. That said, you could still just eat ice cream and lose weight. Wouldn't be ideal, but it would work. We did a stream months back, but we talked about the McDonald's diet. There was, what was that one movie where the guy only ate McDonald's? I can't remember the name. Someone will say it in chat, but he only ate McDonald's. He gained a lot of weight, and it was crazy. The thing is, he didn't track his calories. He was doing a Super Size Me challenge, basically eating McDonald's every single day, and he showed all his stuff. He gained a lot of weight. Everything was off the chart. But then there was a high school science teacher who did the same diet, but he controlled for his calories. And he actually lost a lot of weight just eating McDonald's. So you can do it. You can absolutely do it. Not to say that that's what you should do, but that's just to prove a point that calories in versus calories out is true. It's a good principle to follow, and that'll help get you where you need to go. Wrath says jumping rope is the best way to lose fat. If you do around 20 minutes a day, you'll be good. If I did 20 minutes a day jumping rope, I would spend 10 minutes on the ground from tripping myself. Not that coordinated.